help people understand. I mean, you took over the family farm at an age that, most people don't even have a driver's license yet. And you're running your family business and saving the family farm. So tell us a little bit more about your background and how trailblazing started for you.
I would say that, just to be fair, it was never my intention to stay on the farm. Everything that I did during my entire childhood was meant to get me one step closer to getting off the farm, whether it was working hard, trying to get good grades in school, attending college and high school simultaneously, all of those things. I took that on not because I had a desire to stay on the farm and turn it into, a successful farm. It was so that I could get the heck off of the farm. And ultimately, and I outlined sort of this moment in the book, The Growing Season, where I have this sort of epiphany, and I'm the last kid left on the farm. My four older brothers are all off living their own lives. They're either in college or they've started a career of some kind. But I realize in this sort of very surreal moment that if I left, the five of us, my brothers and I, if I left too, we wouldn't have anything to come home to. So really it was, not necessarily the roots in the land that held me on the family farm. It was the roots of the family. And ultimately, I made a very split decision after years and years and years of, dreaming and planning my escape from this really rural area. It all changed in just that, one single moment. And I knew in that moment my future would look very different than everything that I had ever envisioned for myself up until that point.
When you were taking that leap at, what was it, Sarah, 15, 16 years old, when you were like, okay, I'll take over this farm?
Yeah, I was driving probably likely illegally, when I was 15 with a truck and selling melons. So I like to tell people I started when I was 16, but there might have been some of that ahead of time, when I actually got the driver's license. But I was a kid, and when you think about a kid that age, now granted, and I sort of lay the groundwork in the book, The Growing Season, because much of The Growing Season is about my growing seasons as a little girl, and a lot of the experiences, good and bad, that ultimately shaped me and prepared me for that moment when I did ultimately say, "Yep, I'm staying and I'm going to do this." And I also, in my mind, realized that getting ahead in life could still mean that you can stay behind, and fight and build. And for me, I was already, that entrepreneurial spirit was alive and well and already being nourished by the time I made the decision to stay on the farm, because I made that decision when I was about 17 years old. And that's when I had sort of the epiphany that I was going to stay. But everything, I had been working and building my fresh produce delivery route and working with small retailers